right, yes, footy is back. G'day, I'm Robert Dipper Domenico. Dipper! No, I'm not. I'm Jaymz Clements. I'm the host here of the AFL Today Show, your new favourite one-stop shop for all things AFL footy. Joining me for this you little beauty, we've gather round. We're gathering around a table. That's right. It's a couple of local footy nuffs, full-blown weirdos, AFL experts. Checks out. We've got Alex Donnelly over there.
You just bring me back to my childhood, just Dipper on the sidelines there, just going down to the boundary. He's like, I talked to show a quarter time. You couldn't make out a word to say, but I'm like, this is great. Love you, Dipper.
And we've also got a guy fresh off the bull. I think he's lived on that bull out there in Adelaide for the last couple of days. He just caught a different flight from us as well.
Yeah.
Just like, I just need to ride the bull. Need to ride the bull at the wool shed in Adelaide. It is the stats man, a.k.a. the stats boy, a.k.a. stats guy, a.k.a. Liam McAllion. What's going on, stats man?
That was a big intro for such a little
Your
guy.
name's Liam?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm missing the Adelaide Oval, missing Hindley Street, missing just the gather round vibes.
I'm missing Radelaide.
Yeah, I just miss it already. So, but it was awesome weekend.
Well, see, I'm just, big into my religion, so city of churches.
City of
So I was all
they
over
were
it.
some beautiful
Adelaide Oval.
Sunday mornings, just what I did.
Yeah, you were just praying everywhere.
I
I
was
was
just
spewing there wasn't a market on.
I was close to spewing. So. Anyway, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow AFL Today across all the socials, the Sports Today show on the old Facebook as well.
Yeah.
But can you smell it? This is the Midweek Madness show. Footy is back. You know what also is back? Buys.
Oh,
What a world we had.
Thank God I need one.
how good was that? We had a whole weekend. No, by every team.
Yeah,
it
but
was lovely.
We still had overlap and I hated it.
I don't mind if there's overlap. Every team plays. There's more to talk about. I don't
I've
like
already
buys.
explained the lack of overlap. Give me Monday Night Footy.
Thank you.
It's not rocket surgery. Anyway,
Monday Night Footy.
Real quick one. News ticker. Jeremy Finlayson got 3 weeks.
Not enough.
He's got to attend the Pride in Sport on his own dime.
Not enough.
6 weeks. Double it.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I don't know. If you want to stamp it out, like rampant homophobia and homophobic language, just go hammer and tongs on it.
could
Just
go 8 if
6
you want,
weeks.
yeah.
Don't care.
Yeah.
Just don't say it.
Literally.
That'll bash it through your thick skull, you moron.
Yeah.
Blow it out your nose, Jeremy Finlayson.
Given the NRL
If you blow through your nose, you might blow the rest of your hair off your head.
Oh, bang.
Jeez. Should have a bit of, for a bloke whose wife has been through hell,
Yeah.
have a bit of bloody empathy. What is that?
Yeah.
That's bloody horrible.
This is
Not
also
right.
the one time the NRL got it right against the AFL. They gave a Canterbury dude 4 weeks last year. How are we behind the NRL when it comes to the moral high ground? What is going on?
That could be the first
Do you
time
like
ever.
how he
but-
always yells after I yell? He's like, I need to yell as well.
I just hate the NRL.
That's when I just don't yell because I feel like too much
I
yelling
don't think your
sometimes.
voice can get to that
No,
octane.
it can if I think.
Ah! You know.
Actually, Stats guy swearing in the meeting today was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was not expecting that bull video to turn up.
You got stitched up in the company meeting.
But it was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Great vibes by me. Midweek winner of the week. Whoa, Errol.
Yes.
Can you now get Aussie Crawl to do a new cut just specifically of him and a video of
Surely.
him?
Yeah,
I don't know how
that'd
this
be
hasn't
sick.
happened. You see a lot of musicians do a little clips for the AFL. Robbie Williams did one for Carlton. Can we get Australian Crawl?
Given
That'd be
Errol's
cool.
about to get $1 million a year, surely he can. Maybe get the lizard in there somewhere
What's the
too.
how many years is it supposed to be? He hasn't signed it yet, but
So the point of this is that Errol Goulden is up for a new contract.
yeah, he's
Yes.
4 more years.
And
4,
they're
okay.
backing up the Brinks truck because it's not the Armaguard truck anymore because they're going out of business.
really,
Wow.
oh,
That's
so not
something I
in
learned
the
today.
Brown though. There's no Armaguard. Big
Who would that
Armaguard
big
guys.
dude
Yeah.
with the
We volunteer. We will bring you the votes.
Yeah.
We will
Like,
also
hang on a
bet.
second. How are they all P Crips? It's like, I just don't know.
A few sneaky LDUs in there.
Why did Jay Clements get 1 million votes? He retired ages ago. Is that ginger moron sitting over there going, hit him, Peter Dacos? It'd be great.
Oh yeah, the Royal Rumble. Bring it on.
So that I think Errol Goulden cashing in on his big new deal. That's midweek winner of the week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Get
mean,
paid.
anytime anyone gets $1 million a year, they're probably going to be the winner.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you who's not the weekend winner, the midweek winner of the week is probably the AFL taking 5 days for the Finlayson thing. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems pretty cut and dried once we figured out what he said,
Yeah.
how he said it, who he said it to. Just go,
Let's just deal with
this
it.
is
Yeah.
a bit of the classic old AFL going, which way's the wind blowing? 3 weeks. Ah!
But it's the point where it's like no one's satisfied, and then the people who thought he shouldn't get suspended are going to be really angry that he got 3 weeks.
Yeah, but they're mouth
Probably.
breathers on the internet. So,
Yeah, definitely.
let's do some yeah nahs. Should Freo fans stop sooking? I'll answer this one. Yeah.
You're a Carlton supporter, though.
Of course. I think we talked this out a little bit on the Monday show, the wrap show from Gather Round. There's going to be a point where you go, they should have used the bloody tracking system, the arc, to see that it hit his arm and bring it. It's like, where does it stop? We should have challenges. Shut up.
I think it's easy for us not to worry about it too much because we're not Freo supporters. We'd be filthy. I'm putting myself in a Freo. We would be filthy.
I think I'd be vaguely upset.
You lost a game last year due to your team's ineptitude to count.
Yeah,
but it's like...
I was filthy with that to my own team, but same scenario, just say flipping on to the Freo. So, I'd be really angry. But as we said on Monday, real time, the umpire wasn't able to see it. That's sport.
I'd also argue the amount of times a ball, and like this is one of those remarkable things. If you watch a lot of footy, like we do, footy, all the time. Go to a local game and you're just like, yes, a lot of balls are inadvertently touched.
No, but even in AFL, happens every game.
Pause. But look, a lot of stuff like whether you take the mark first, control the ball, like letter of the law, getting to it first, whatever. Off the boot.
But then it's also, you see, no one saw this till Monday when they put in the zoomed in vision that the ball was actually punched before Cottrell marked it.
Yeah, but that happens all the time.
Every time. That's always going to be a mark.
Unfortunately, I'm a defender. The forwards always get the rub of the green. Always. Whereas you punch it and then they mark it. Always.
I watched Buddy Franklin just get scragged and crawled and...
he kicked 1,000 goals. He kicked 1,000 goals.
He should have kicked 1,500, mate.
Forwards always get the rub of the green.
What's that? Where? Oh, there it is. It's not.
I mean, that's because Charlie
Kerner kicked a lot of goals.
Because Charlie Kerner gets free kicks every week.
Yeah, that's true.
He's got a beautiful hair. Just those long, luscious, curly locks. Let's go.
Yep.
Thank you, Charles. Other nars. Will any of the 0-4 teams win a game this weekend? We have 4 0-4 teams staring down the barrel of 0-5. 0-4 has tended to be the line of demarcation as well for like, if you start 0-4, you're cooked, mate. Adelaide still have a chance. We saw them turn around last year.
No, go on.
They play Carlton this week. We've got North. Who do your boys play this week, Stats?
Just Geelong and Geelong. We're going to get absolutely smacked. Could be 150 points, I reckon, Geelong and Geelong. So that's not happening. Next one is Gold Coast Hawthorn. Hawks are really bad up there as well. A lot of Victorian teams are.
It's up there. And then West Coast Richmond out west. Last game of the round, I believe, as well.
Galaxy Brain Gym.
Well, West Coast is the only team that has a sneaky chance, but Richmond have been a lot better than we all expected. They were decent on Gather Round on Sunday where we saw Norwood Oval. I don't see any of these 0-4 teams getting to win this week. Maybe next week. Oh, definitely next week, actually, Alex pointed out, because Hawks play North.
Yeah, one of them will win next week.
Yeah, West Coast are the only sneaky team.
You're going draws.
Draw. I would take a draw right now. Really? We can't get a win, yeah. I'll take a draw.
Well, there you go. On top of that, is Adelaide the best of the 0-4 teams? Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
Ooh, who do you
Who's
think
better
is?
than Adelaide?
From what I've seen so far, from the games they've played, I think Hawthorn are better than them.
Ooh.
Adelaide suck. They are horrendous.
Hawthorn were absolutely demolished, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So... by Geelong was like, the 36, and then
Adelaide haven't got smashed.
They got smacked the week before that by Melbourne.
But for a team I expected so much of to be so insipid and beige.
Yeah, I agree. I agree that they've been the most disappointing, but I wouldn't say Hawks are better than. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'll back Hawks to beat them if they played each other right now.
If they played it in Launceston.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, they might.
I think that's where they played last year.
Yeah, and then they kicked. Was it Thriller or Fogarty kicked that mad goal from 50 on the boundary?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Nice one. Are North a chance to be not bottom 2 at this rate? Yeah, nah.
At the start of the season, I said yeah, but nah. We look a lot worse than Hawthorn. Hawthorn have shown really good signs.
Worse?
They came back against Geelong. Obviously, still was like 30-something points. Came back really well against Collingwood. You two were cheering on the hill.
Another minute, they would have won that game.
Another minute.
That game was good.
They're just looking a lot better. They obviously finished the year a lot better as well, Hawks. North, I hate to say it, but we're going to be bottom 2 at the moment.
How have you gotten worse?
I don't think we've gotten worse, but we just haven't gotten better.
There's a very easy answer.
The coach.
Clarko's a fraud.
Okay.
He's a fraud.
I don't think we've gotten worse. We just haven't gotten better.
Look, you know my approach to Clarko. Think he's a cooker. Just pack her up, boys. You're done, mate. You're done.
North have also had one of the hardest fixtures. We've played 3 finals teams from last year
West Coast had a worse run to start the season.
I don't know. We've played 3 finals
Look at
teams.
West Coast start to the season. They've had it worse.
3 finals teams and Freo. But anyway, that's another.
They played GWS, the Swans, to start off their season, as well as they had another. They've travelled like 3 weeks. They played Port Adelaide in round 1.
Yeah,
there's 3 of their 4. I can't remember who the 4th team was.
Fair.
Tough scenes. I still think North go bottom 2. Sorry, Stats go.
No, I have to agree with you, unfortunately.
Because it does feel like they're good enough to like sneak up on 1 or 2 teams like throughout the season.
Essendon.
And they were sort of...
Just our backline is the thing that's killing me.
There will be games where finally Clarko will get his hooks into it. And halfway through the season, you'll have much more of these honourable losses that we're seeing Hawthorn have.
Well,
yep.
But for the moment, Hawthorn are far ahead of where North are.
Yeah.
West Coast are just cooked as well, though. Finally, Barb's is Barb. Gotta love it.
Barb's always sensing good stuff.
Barb's has just had a crack at me, though, in this. Are Carlton the real deal? / did Freo unlock how to beat Carlton? Look, I was already on this the other day when we sort of broke it down about the clearance rate. I talked about this on Monday's show, right? How we're just getting smashed when it comes to clearances.
In the middle, yeah.
Ideally, we get Sam Walsh back. That helps a lot. It frees up some of the inside-outside play of it means you can rotate dudes like Hewitt, Kennedy, and stuff like that back through it, as well as Chera, Walsh, Cripps, sort of like having that melange of your midfielders. It just means that you don't have to rely on Cripps for everything. So I think at the moment we're just, a little bit too reliant on just Cripps, don't arguing 87 dudes to handball.
Walsh is supposed to be back this week, I'm pretty sure, as well. Or he's going to be a test. Yep. So I think a test means just get him in the side because we need to win some clearances. So.
Well, the stat that wasn't put in on here was because I had it on did Freo unlock how to beat Carlton in the It is stopping that clearance game because that clearance game leads to quick inside 50s to Harry and Charlie, which leads to goals. They only had 42 inside 50s on the weekend, and we saw how they struggled. They just could not get into the game.
Yep, that's right. Anyway, they have unlocked it because if you just stymie Carlton, we absolutely pack our dacks and just don't. There's very, very few sort of other ways of Carlton to beat. But they've been much better than they were last year, I think, Carlton, because all they could do last year was get clearances.
Yep.
Now we sort of can do everything else, and I think the tackle pressure and pressure rate and stuff like that has gone back through the roof.
I think Carlton as well. You can compare them to Collingwood last year. They were really behind in a lot of stats in a lot of games. Low inside 50 count, low clearance numbers.
But winning.
So you can say the same about Carlton. I think they are the real deal because they're winning. If you get over the line, who cares about the stats you've won?
Don't care about the stats, just eat the W's. All right, big calls. Let's do it. Gather round. Should be each week of the season.
Oh, shut up. What are you talking about?
I'm leaving.
Each week of the season.
My body can't handle it.
Every town is just one.
Or are we just gathering around the TV to watch it?
Yeah.
I can just gather around a few tins.
Yeah, we already do that.
Gather around. This week we do it in Perth. Next week we do it in Melbourne. Next week we do it in
That would be a nightmare.
Geelong.
So
Wagga.
we only get one home game a year.
I mean, you don't win anyway, so who cares?
Yeah, I want to go and watch my team. I don't
Travelling circus vibes. My big call is very clear. The GWS are the best team in the comp by far. And I don't feel like people have realised it. They're on top of the ladder, but their offense is absolutely chaos. They became the first team since 2017 to score over 100 in each of the first 4 games.
Yeah.
That is absolutely unreal. They've got the 4th best defense so far, the best offense, the midfield's incredible, the backline's unreal. There's still they've still got Jesse Hogan, Toby Green and co. There's not too many questions about their forward line anymore. They've got weapons everywhere.
And then you look at the weekend where Tom Green didn't have a good game, but Cornelio and Kelly just went, we're going to play.
We're back. Yeah,
exactly. I think...
And Lockie Whitfield didn't do much because he hurt himself.
That stoush in that midfield, right? Between the Suns and between the Giants was really telling. And they won it eventually. They sort of just muscled them out.
Line, I think, helped
muscled them out of the way and just sort of imposed themselves on the game. And that's absolute hallmarks to a legit top 1 contending team.
They don't get enough at the start of the year. They're minor premiers.
They don't get enough coverage as well because they just don't have a big fan base. Same as Gold Coast when they were going really well.
They also played 10 years ago. They also played at Mount Barker on Sunday. And everyone's that happened.
Yeah, it's a tough one. Amazing social media game. Awesome actual games. I love GWS. That's great. That's where I'm at. Yeah, big call for Alex. Go.
Adelaide's dropping Matt Crouch this week. Ooh. Honestly, you can't play with him in your team if you want to win games of football. I think he had about 8 metres gained on the weekend from how many other possessions he had. Seriously, just drop him, get someone who's going to get in there and kick the football.
He's a few clearances though, but
his metres gained was pathetic. For a guy who gets that much of the footy, it's similar to Darcy Parish last week. He gained 50 metres from 21 possessions. I don't care if you're a stats accumulator. Get the footy, kick it long to your forwards. You got a big guy like Tex up there, kick it long to Tex. Drop back Crouch.
Keep an eye on Jordan Dawson.
He's still been okay, just not to his high standards.
Play Jordan Dawson off half back. You know what he does when he gets the football?
Yeah.
Kicks it long.
He used to play.
It's going to be awesome against Carlton this week. Yeah. My word.
Yeah.
Let him run off half back. Is it the dome, right?
Yes.
Run off half back. Good conditions because the roof's going to be closed. Must have Jim's chagrin and just bomb it long. But ever since Matt Crouch came back in that team, they have actually lost more games than they've won since he came in late last year. Which is weird.
He was their best player last year. Yeah.
Well, he wasn't. He played for the last month.
Stats boy, go.
All right. I think the tribunal need to grow some balls. They have not given giving weeks to players, enough weeks to players who have a bad record. They used to be a thing. I don't know if you guys remember that.
It used to be weighted, yeah.
It used to be weighted, and if you've had a few suspension over the last few years, they go, oh, I'm going to take that into account, give you a few extra weeks. Cozzy Pickett only getting 1 week for that bump is an absolute joke. Cozzy Pickett also saying that he was going for the ball and it was just his technique. Well, he clearly jumped in the air, elbowed him in the head. He's got
you aren't going to say anything you can to get off. It's like,
I know, but I don't know, choose your words a bit better than that.
That's the Alex Donnelly autobiography. I will say anything to get off.
Yeah.
It's not a lie if you believe it.
Yes, George Costanza. But yeah, I think he definitely should have got more than 1 week. He's got 3 bump suspensions in the last 1.5 years. I saw. He's an absolute sniper.
Bailey Smith's head just flew past his window.
You should get 3 weeks minimum if you do the same thing over and over again. You shouldn't get 1.
This is the Draymond Green corollary.
Yeah.
If you keep doing dumb stuff, we're going to keep punishing you, and it's going to get worse.
It should get worse. So that's my big call. Tribunal just need to make it worse for players that just keep doing the wrong thing.
Nice. Yeah. Thursday night footy.
Feels like we just had
Thursday night footy. I feel like we just came from
the footy.
I'm going to be there.
My brain is still like on that hill, actually. Yeah. Sunday night.
2 tins.
Collingwood Hawthorn, jeez. Melbourne versus Brisbane. At the MCG, we have one team that's 1-3 and the other on 4-1. Still remarkable that the Lions are 1-3, having played 2 games already at the Gabatoir and lost them both. Mm-hmm. Bit of an interesting one. This is not a happy hunting ground either for the Lions, is it, Stats Boy? How many have they lost of their last 15 games at the MCG?
14, if you can believe it. We always talk about that when Brisbane come to the G. There was that game last year, was it, where they were up by heaps against Melbourne.
5 goals and they got
5 goals and then they still got run down.
That was 105, 104.
But they were also 5 goals down at one point.
They were. It was a weird game.
Awesome.
They match up really well against Melbourne, and I think this would be close. But then it could be the end of the game where they go, we just don't know how to win at the G, and Melbourne might run over.
They were in front of a grand final with 2 minutes to go.
They were, yeah.
They lost. They still lost that grand final. So Melbourne, Brisbane, 14.5 point favourites to the Demons at the moment. The over-under is 164.5.
Yep.
Which to me actually feels a little bit low, considering you've got at least a track record where 105 versus 104 last year in a really awesome game.
Great game.
And the game before that, you might remember this last March. Baby, when the lights go out at the MC. That was up at the Gabba. That was chaos. Melbourne came flying back in that game out of absolutely nowhere. And so they've played 2 really close games within the last 12 months. This is a fascinating matchup. I think the over is probably a little bit more in play there. I think this is going to be a really close one. I think the idea is like the simple, like you look at the strength of Melbourne, obviously, with Stephen May back.
Yeah, that helps.
He took a couple of hits on the weekend. We're like,
Tex landed on him early.
How are you alive?
How's his ribs broken? But he's still playing?
Was just sitting up in the stand, just going, I'd be dead.
Our producer, Homie, has broken ribs. Alex may have broken them for him. I don't know what's going on there. No, he did it saving a child.
Literally.
That's what he does. Yeah, it's incredible.
Can we tell the funny part of that story?
He was hit by an ambulance.
Yeah.
The sweet irony. But the idea here is like, Stephen May, Jakey Lever, that back line of Melbourne versus the awesome forward line that fired finally last week.
But it was North Melbourne, does it count?
Beat the Lions.
I think, they're going to come up against the D's and go back to that first couple of weeks where Joey can't have 9 scoring shots against Melbourne. No way.
Eric Hipwood will kick like 4 here and we'll just be like, how?
Nah, he wasn't even great against North.
Joey Danaher obviously loves playing on the G. That's what he...
Eric Hipwood had a decent record at the G too.
Yeah, they both average a couple of goals, I think.
Could be a sneaky Link McCarthy game for Brisbane.
Yeah.
I think every game is a sneaky Link McCarthy game for Link McCarthy.
Just slithers.
He's like, what am I even doing here? I don't know, but I'm smashing it. It's
20
awesome.
to goal every week.
Yeah.
So Joey Duckett's finally came good. He had 9 scores at 5 goals 4 last week against the Lions.
I reckon he had 11 or 12 shots, but he only had 5 goals 4.
Yeah, he actually kicked one of them into the Adelaide Oval.
He won't have more than like 3 or 4 against Melbourne, I reckon, because you got a much better team. You go back to the first couple of weeks, him and Eric Hipwood were just getting in each other's way. They couldn't kick anything.
This is my Western Bulldogs paradox.
So don't trust him.
He doesn't trust him.
His last game at the MCG, that was, a little thing called the grand final.
Yep.
Joey Danaher was awesome. Kicked 3 goals.
Danaher.
Joey Danaher. I feel like the Lions will keep this close. I think they've just got that much offensive firepower. Lockie Neal. Hugh McCluggage was huge McCluggage last week
36 touches,
yeah. Zorko, there were some question marks about Zorko after the weekend, but I think he's going to be right to play, right?
I haven't heard anything since they said he might be injured, but I think he'll be all right.
And I don't know, what are we looking at in terms of tips and a bit of a margin, Stats Boy?
I'm going to go Melbourne by 21. I don't know. I think Brisbane, they're going to resort back to the first couple of weeks. I still think they'll bounce back second half of the season, but they played North. Like a lot of people have said, doesn't really count. We don't really know what their full potential is when you're playing against North because most teams are going to smash my beloved team. So I'm going to go Melbourne by 21. I think they're much better set up in defence to combat Brisbane, and then they've got a freak midfield that obviously matches Brisbane's midfield. So
nice one.
Melbourne.
Alex?
D's by 5 goals. They do it easily.
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
5 goals.
MCG, they're flying. They went to Adelaide, knocked off the 2 Adelaide teams. They're back at home. Everything's going good for them. Petrarca 33-2.
Ooh.
Truck on the G is always terrifying as well. Love that.
Yeah.
The Zorko thing is like, he's been pretty handy so far.
He's been really good, yeah.
Against the Roos, he was really good. So I think this comes pretty close. I think the Demons fall over the line almost despite themselves and win it by, let's say, 2 goals.
2 goals? Nice.
And we get a bit of a Thursday night classic. It wouldn't actually surprise. So I think, Brisbane cover that line. It wouldn't surprise me if Brisbane actually sort of pulled this one out and actually won of those. So.
That's going to ruin my girlfriend's mother's weekend. Big D's fan. Going to be at the game with her. She smacked me in the face with a scarf last week. Bam, go D's.
I love her already. Yeah.
That's awesome. She should have hit you harder. You can watch that on Sports Today show on Facebook. SuperCoach tips, vibes, midweek, Stats Boy. What do you reckon? We've got another bye week.
Well, I don't mind bye weeks in terms of SuperCoach because you get best 18 and then all your crap players that you're nervous about, you go, don't have to worry about them.
I'm sweet having a week off of the Swans. This is nice. Like, I know you hated it a few weeks ago. I'm like, Swans need the break.
Swans need a break, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, so you don't have, a lot of people have Heaney, a lot of people have Grundy and things like that. People are trading out Grundy. Roberts. I still think it's a little bit too early to trade out Grundy.
I'm leaving Grundy. I've got in Gornicus, and I'm just going one out hoping he goes big.
If you don't have
week.
Gorn, you need Gorn because he's still reasonably cheap. And then if you can somehow get up to English in your rucks, then that's not
Grundy
horrible.
up to
but that's
English
very
is
hard
about
to
the only
do,
one I feel like.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Gorn is a lock for your VC this week for your vice captain loophole if you can pull it off.
I reckon.
It should be very easy to pull off because you've got buys. So if you don't do it, what are you doing? Always vice captain loophole. But Gorn, I think we had this on the AFL Supercoach show yesterday. Last time he played Brisbane, scored 215.
Jeez, I forgot about that.
VC that one.
Wow.
Off we go.
That's massive.
Other midweek vibes, Jason Horne-Francis. So we watched him obviously in person last Friday night against the Bombers.
He was unbelievable.
For a boy amongst men, he looked like a man amongst boys.
Yeah, which
I'm
is
just going
weird.
to start singing Boys to Men.
What about Boys Light Up?
At the end of the road. Is that even Boys to Men? I hope it is, Gerald.
I got no idea.
Gerald just nodding. He's just like, yes. Yes, Jim.
I feel like producer Gerald loves his smooth R&B. That's what he's all about. But I'm looking at JHF because he's a really interesting price point, especially for James Jordan for the Swans. He sort of hit his midpoint. He was like one of the most owned dudes.
I got rid of him this week as well. I've bought in a couple of rookies. This is the aim to try and get like a turn of Riley Sanders or McKercher into Errol next week.
Ooh, nice.
Any other vibes?
I really like Jack Steele. I think he's about 580,000, but he's back to his best. People were saying last year he was playing with some injuries and he wasn't even their main midfielder, which is weird for the captain. He was the best player for years before that. He's back to his best, averaging 127, and he's a lot cheaper than the big mids that are scoring those big scores that are over 600. He's averaging a lot more than the likes of LDU, who's around that price point, averaging around the same as Sarong and Butters. So I think, he's a bit of a pod as well because he's still under...
A good Podsy Adley.
Bit of a Podsy Adley. Not a massive pod because it'd be around 15%, but compared to a lot of other guys that are 40, 50%, I don't mind him.
That's a nice one. Yeah, this is also the question we do pose on the Supercoach show. Boost or no boost?
Boost. I boosted. I
already boosted. I reckon if you've only used one of your boosts, you can. If you've used two, then you can't have used three or four already.
This is my second boost.
I've used two. Right. I'm not using a third this week.
This is my second. Getting rid of D'Ambrosio, Jackson, and Jordan. I've got in Gornicus with a couple of rookies.
Nice.
I'll Galaxy brand myself out of that and have some sort of...
And then like round 12 or round 10, Jim's like, what? Where's the boost? Where's all my boost gone?
I'll be tapping like every tech guy I know in the building. Is like,
can you somehow get me another extra trade?
Boost?
Just for the hand you the chocolate bar.
Hey man, got any boost?
Given he hosts the Supercoach show, Jim can't win the $500,000.
Yeah, maybe they're going to give
This is America's funniest
home video. He
gets
paid in trades. He's like, why has Jim got 62 trades?
Nobody take any screenshots of my Supercoach. All right, there you go. Should be a cracking game. Thursday Night Footy is going to be awesome. We will be back for teams tomorrow night, which will be awesome. I think Alex is going to join us for this one because he's actually not sooking.
Yeah.
He's going to the game.
Trotting down to the MCG after work.
Nice one. So that'll do it for AFL today. We'll be back for AFL Today tomorrow. And that'll be full of a whole bunch of teams breaking down, reacting, seeing what's going in, what's going on, all the good stuff for round 5. So with the Pies in Sydney on the bye this week, it actually feels like a really strange weekend ahead as well. Like this, yesterday was like the first day I sort of looked at, who's playing this week? Oh yeah, there's a couple of good matchups.
Yep.
The rest of them you're kind of like, sure.
Is it this week that the Western Bulldogs and St Kilda play on the Friday, or is that next week?
That's Dogs Essendon.
There's like a Dogs St Kilda Thursday or Friday coming up soon. I'm just tapping out of that one.
But it's nicely balanced because we got Gold Coast Hawthorn and Freo Port on Saturday night.
Yeah, okay, that'd be a good game.
Two very interesting, weird games. But a weird week of footy ahead. Can't wait. And we'll be back tomorrow to talk it all out. Thank you once again to Alex Donnelly and his haircut.
Yeah, cheers. Check out Hold All Tickets, big Group 1 Championships Day this weekend.
Nice. And the Stats Boy.
Thank you.
The Bull Rider.
Didn't want to plug football today or something?
Oh, I thought we already talked about that. Oh,
no,
Jim usually says that.
Yeah. Remember to smash a like across all the socials for AFL Today. And, of course, you can find that Sports Today show on Facebook.
Yep.
But everything else, IG, X, Threads, TikTok, YouTube, AFL Today show. Subscribe and like and star. You got to really dig into stars when it comes to the Spotify.
It's a bit annoying, but it's well worth it. It's well worth it.
It definitely is. So get around Cricket Today podcast, Football Today podcast, NBA Australia, Hold All Tickets, and am I missing any?
Don't think so.
NFL Australia, sure.
Yep.
Get around them like, I don't know, Robert Dipper Domenico. I don't know, getting around a few barrels of ale.
Just outside Waverley.
Just hanging out Forges and Dimmies and Forges down there on Swan Street, as he would have back in the, I don't know, mid to late 80s. All right, that's it. We'll catch you later this week for more AFL Today show. Until then, look after yourselves, would you? And remember, footy's back! If you like this show, make sure you check out all the other shows in the Sports Today network, from the AFL Today show to the Cricket Today podcast, the Football Today podcast, as well as NBA Australia and NFL Australia. With Sports Today, your sporting needs have never been easier to cover.